Welcome back, everyone. We are 1 month into the official NBA offseason, and during that time, the Lakers have managed to completely change the look of their team. Between the hiring of Darvin Ham, the young talent they picked up on draft day, and their new free agent additions, you can tell that they put a big priority on creating a new image. Unfortunately for them though, they have not been able to completely accomplish that goal, as one major reminder of last season remains on their team, with that being Russell Westbrook. Now, don't get me wrong here, I'm not one of those who blamed everything on Russ, but whether we like it or not, he has pretty much become the poster boy of their horrible year. If we are being honest though, he has not done much to help himself. His play on the court was one thing, but the way he handled his situation off the court was another thing entirely. Between going back and forth with fans, both in person and on social media, refusing to make any changes to his game to help their team, and even acting like their team had no expectations, he definitely rubbed fans the wrong way. Not only the fans though, but quite obviously a few of his teammates, and probably even the front office too, all of which is beginning to reveal itself. If you have not yet heard, earlier this week, Westbrook's agent of 14 years parted ways with him, and the comments he made following that were very interesting. In a statement made to ESPN, he revealed that they parted ways due to quote-unquote irreconcilable differences, and that dispute appears to have come from Westbrook wanting to be traded. His agent, Thad Fouché, believes that Westbrook should remain with the Lakers and embrace the starting role that Darvin Ham publicly offered him. Along with that, he acknowledged the fact that Westbrook may be traded, and not only is that likely where their differences came into play, but he revealed that there are basically no teams that want him either. The trade value part is not that surprising, but if we connect the dots here, it appears that Russ would like to be traded, which although is not that shocking either, it has not been something that has been made public, even with it being implied until now. And despite a report coming out shortly after that claiming that to be false, I think we can believe the words that came directly from his former agent. After all, he was working with both Russ and the Lakers throughout this entire process. If there is anyone we can trust to know what is going on here, it would have to be him. And all of that only adds fuel to the fire that is already brewing between them. They've done well in hiding it, but it's become blatantly obvious that neither they nor Russ wants a reunion. Even with Darvin Ham leading people to believe otherwise, which again I do think is smart, I don't believe for a second that either of them want to spend another year together. And if you need any proof of that at all, look at the way LeBron has interacted, or rather avoided interaction with Westbrook throughout the summer. Now you can try and argue that maybe we simply haven't seen it, but if we're being honest here, they appear to be done with each other in regard to being teammates, and if we compare their current interaction to last summer, it's not even remotely close, because back then, they made it a point to publicly be seen together. Whether that was with them working out together, replying to each other on social media, or simply interacting with one another in public, they clearly were on way better terms back then. But now, that could not be any different, and their interaction, or lack of it during Summer League, was the perfect representation of that. They both attended the same Lakers Summer League game, and made it a point to interact with other people, but not with each other. They sat on opposite ends of the court, and never even acknowledged one another being there. And then following that, we had LeBron and his agent and friend Rich Paul quote tweeting the situation involving Russ and his now former agent Thad Fouché, which really only added to the speculation here. With LeBron pushing for the Lakers to acquire Kyrie Irving, I cannot imagine that Russ is too happy with him, as that would directly involve him being traded. Not that he wants to remain a Laker, but the fact that the guy who wanted him as a teammate only a year ago now wants him to be traded is probably not sitting too well with him. Again, they've done very well in hiding it, but it's becoming harder and harder for them to do so. The fire is building between them, and it's only a matter of time before more drama comes out. In my opinion, this situation is not one that can be fixed. not only do LeBron, AD, and Russ simply not fit, but they no longer appear to have a good relationship either. And that is arguably even more important than fit, as you cannot hope for them to work together if they don't even want to play together. Unfortunately though, if Westbrook's now former agent is telling the truth, which I believe he is, then there are no teams who currently want him. It really feels like the entire league is against them right now, as the narrative around the league, and really the entire NBA world, is that Westbrook has no value. But yet, we've seen time and time again that expiring contracts, and yes, even large ones like the one Westbrook has, do hold some sort of trade value. It's become clear that nobody wants to help them out, even if doing that might indirectly help them too. And while that could eventually change, that narrative is definitely holding strong right now. It's quite obviously been affecting Russ too, given that his agent directly quoted his trade value, or lack of it, during his statement to ESPN. That was very likely one of the major things bothering him. After all, he has now been traded in each of the past 3 years, and with the way things are looking right now, that could very well become 4. I cannot blame him for being affected by that either. For a guy who has made an impact on the game like Westbrook has, that is something that would not make you feel good. And the situation he is in right now is by far the worst one of any of those 4. The team does not want him here, LeBron does not want him here, and he does not want to be here either. It's a very toxic and truly sad place for him to be in, and at this point, I really do feel bad for him. No, you cannot deny that he underperformed, or that he clearly was a horrible fit for their team, but he definitely does not deserve to be viewed like he is right now. Again, he has not really helped himself here, but it's hard not to feel bad for him nonetheless, and at this point, I hope he is traded for his own well-being. Will that actually happen though? In my opinion, yes, I do think it will. I believe a worthwhile trade will eventually reveal itself to them, and when it does, they will not hesitate to pull the trigger. Even though the Lakers have made it appear that they are willing to keep him, I do not buy that even for a second. They want to move on from him just like he wants to move on from them, and more likely than not, they've already had those kind of conversations before. With all of that being said though, that will conclude my thoughts on what is going on right now between Westbrook, LeBron James, and really the entire Lakers franchise. What do you guys think though? Do you believe it's as bad as we think it is? And how do you think it will end? Let me know your thoughts by commenting down below and we can talk about it there. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and turn on notifications to get notified right away when I drop a new video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.